Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Rotary meeting, first meeting of April. Actually, this would be the second meeting of April. But, or no, we didn't have one last week, did we? First meeting of April. So it's April 9th. Glad to have everybody here and all of our guests from our Interact clubs who we'll introduce here in just a little bit. This morning, our invocation will be led by Tim Redmond if he's on. Otherwise, I will substitute.
Actually, it's Julie. Tim's daughter's having a baby this morning, so he asked someone to step in. So,
okay,
if you don't mind, yeah.
So Julie will do that.
Okay.
Dave Williamson will lead our pledge.
Okay. Good morning, and again, everybody think about Tim and his family this morning. His daughter's having a baby. This is a Buddhist prayer that I'd like to read this morning. It's called With Every Breath. With every breath I take today, I vow to be awake. And every step I take, I vow to take with a grateful heart. So I may see with eyes of love into the hearts of all I meet. To ease their burden when I can and touch them with a smile of peace. Amen.
Amen. Is Dave Williamson on? If not, we'll ask Calvin Gebhardt to lead our pledge. All right, I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, do we have, other than our Interact students who we'll introduce shortly, do we have any other guests on this morning? If you have a guest or you are a guest, please unmute yourself and introduce.
Good morning, guys. I'm a guest. I was invited by Lori. My name's Brian. I'm a new chiropractor in Dublin, and just thought I'd get up a little bit earlier this morning and meet you guys and open up with a good way, just like a meeting of fellowship and getting involved in the community before I start work. So thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here, Brian. Glad to have you here. Other guests this morning? How about announcements? I know Caitlin Gushu has an announcement for us.
I think every time I sign on to these meetings, I always have an announcement, don't I? Yeah, so Dublin Rotary Act, over this past year, we've kind of let the ball go on that one. So I talked with Sinon yesterday, and to get the ball rolling, we've nominated myself as president, vice president, and so forth to get this club rolling. And we are we're going strong, I guess. May 21st will be our first social, but the difference between this social and other networking socials is that we're going to include service in all of our socials. So on May 21st, in order to play bowling, arcade, all those games at Pins, you require cash. Instead of cash, it'll be cans. So cans, non-food perishables, and hygiene products. We've asked the club what pantry they want to go with, but there was a lot of feedback with different pantries. So we're going to kind of make it a four-way tie in a way with the pantry. So we're going to do the Delaware Food Pantry, the Hilliard one, the Dublin Food Pantry, as well as there's a food pantry in Westerville. So we're going to just tackle those four. So that way our Rotary group could be an all-exclusive group rather than just helping out the Dublin community. We're going to be helping out the Westerville, Hilliard, Delaware, and Dublin community with this service project. We started raising cans about 2 weeks ago, and May 21st will be the kind of last day to raise the cans, because that's where people are going to drop the cans off at the event. I want to thank Bonnie from City Barbecue for being an awesome person and donating City Barbecue, so that way our theme can be a backyard barbecue. I figured Tim's was a great place because you have an outside space and an inside space. And we've reserved a certain section of the building so that way we can social distance ourselves and still have a great time. Let's see, I've got my notes on a little card here. Oh, for every 3 cans that they bring, it's 1 ticket. To drink, it's going to be like 8 to 10 tickets. So bring a lot of cans. Let's see. In July and June, we're going to do something a little different. A lot of clubs, they don't really tackle this issue because it's kind of a sore subject to talk about, but it's really, it goes deep within the roots of Rotaract with all of its members. And so we are going to do suicide awareness in June and July, because that seemed to be the most months that people struggled with this past year. So we are looking for inspirational ways to tackle suicide awareness, and we thought maybe creating a book, like even a youth book about it, would be a great idea. So I reached out to Bridgeway Academy, the school that is a really amazing school. It's located kind of in Dublin Hilliard area. And over the summer, they are going to have their campers illustrate the pages for us. So that way, not only is there a child aspect into the book, but it also kind of derives from questions that occurred with the comic cards that we handed out in January about your mental health. What's the one thing that you worry about the most? And most of the cards said, where's my next meal coming from? So that's why we're tackling the Dublin Food Pantry for April and May. And then it just said, I don't know where I'm going to live. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to lose my job. There's just so much going on. I can't deal with it anymore. And that's why we're going to tackle suicide awareness. We're going to have a guest speaker come for one of our park walks. We do park walk meetings once a month. We kind of all get together separately and do our park walk. That's kind of to help our mental state out. We were told, we can't be near anybody, we can't touch anybody, we can't hug anybody, we can't even really converse with anybody if we can't hug anybody. So we did our park walks to kind of just get a breath of fresh air into the world and kind of just breathe in and breathe out and let it go in a way. If anybody wants to join our park walks, they're pretty fun. We only do 1 to 2 people at a time, so you can always reserve us. If you want to catch up with us, get to know what's going on in our lives, so you can get to know what's going on in your life. Helping a person out is a really great idea. Supporting a person is really great too. We would love your support with the club, so I'll be contacting a few Rotary members to kind of ask for sponsorships in a way. We're hoping to also create a garden in some of our parks that we walk in. So if anybody has any of that expertise to kind of put within the city, that would be great. Please reach out to me. That's for our September, August kind of a thing. But yeah, I'm pretty much set now. Thank you. Let me know if I missed anything, Sinon, if you're here.
Well, thank you, Caitlin. We always appreciate your endless energy and enthusiasm and leadership of our young Rotarians. Wolf, you got something to say?
Yeah, I was going to make a couple quick announcements. Tomorrow is our district assembly, and it is free for anybody to join. It's a Zoom meeting. Just go to our district website at dacdb.com, and you can log in and get details. I think they want you to register first, but anyhow, it's 2 hours from 9 to 11 tomorrow. There'll be a lot of motivational speaking and a lot of other Rotary things going on. And then our district conference is coming up. That is April 23rd, I believe. Yes, April 23rd and 4th. And in kicking that off, they would like all the clubs in the district to consider participating in some district-wide service projects. There'll be 4 or 5 different ones that they'll announce that anybody can participate in. And they'd like to have, basically a lot of people show up and do projects all throughout the district. One that we can do, even sitting from our chairs at home, is collect food pantry items to support the local food pantry in our area. And if Dublin is full, they'll help us find another food pantry that can accept donations. There will be a contest involved, and $500 will go to the club who raises the most cans of food. And that will go toward a happy hour hosted by our district governor, Steve Heiser. So anyhow, all that coming up.
Hi, David, I have an announcement.
Okay,
Kind of follows Wolf's announcements pretty well too, because it deals with community service and heading up community service for the club this year. I wanted to see if there's anybody who has an interest in being involved in this committee. I have several who have committed to join, and we will be meeting next week at my home, either Monday or Tuesday, looking like probably Tuesday at 5 o'clock, to go over just what we do as a committee and make assignments and that sort of thing. So if you'd like to be involved, you can private message me here on this chat, or email me or call me. My information is in the club directory. So thank you.
thank you, Bonnie. Okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to move this meeting to Cap Clegg to introduce our speakers for today. And Cap, all yours.
We're just going to jump right into this because we've got some busy students that are taking time out of their early morning. It's been an interesting year to be an interactor, and we're going to hear from them this morning about all the projects they managed to do in between the pandemic. So Emily, I think you're up.
All right, I am Emily Temple. I'm the club advisor over at Davis Middle School. So we have actually done quite a bit this year. It looked a little differently than years past, but we started off our year actually in November once COVID calmed down and we could meet. And we started both in virtually and in person. And we started off with letters to our elders, which we sent letters to, which is a company that sends letters all over the nation to different nursing homes that may need someone to receive a letter during the time that they could not see family or have any visitors in those homes. So that's the first project we did. We also did dog treats. We sold dog treats and made them to our staff. And we donated, all the proceeds went to the Columbus Humane, Animal Humane Shelter. So we're just in the process of finishing up and getting the donation out to them. So we made about actually we had 40 dog treats bags sold, and we made about $200 to send over to the Humane Society. The last project we just finished up at our last meeting was our Soul Hope project, which if you've been here in years past, you may have heard of. It's where we make shoe kits for kids in Uganda, for people in Uganda. And then we teamed up with Scioto on that project. So just finishing up, wrapping that one up also. And then our last project of the year will be Linus blankets. So we make blankets to send over to Children's Hospital for the kids that are sick. So that is everything we've done. We went without officers this year just because it was such a odd time to find the leaders in the group. So we went with just getting the group together, whether it was virtually or in person. And that's everything that Davis did this year. And we're excited to come back and have a more normal year next year and get a little deeper into our projects. So that's about it.
Emily's got to jump on another Zoom call, but by way of introduction, Emily's the advisor for Davis Middle School. And so we just thank her for all she did and all her students did. It's interesting how they touched lives all around the world from Dublin, Ohio this year. So thanks, Em.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
And
Emily.
Mr. Witt.
Yeah, good morning. First and foremost, thank you to Cap, Claudia, Ash for all their help in supporting the kids. Been a different year, but as you'll see, the kids did not let that in any way deviate from what they were able to accomplish. I have three of my officers here, Grant, Will, and Dave. If it's okay, I'm going to present my screen just so as they're talking about some of the things that they did, that you can see some visuals. Is that all right?
Yep, big time. By the way, John is with Dublin Scioto High School.
So again, while they're kind of getting themselves together, we're all sharing this nice little cozy space. Want to just thank the Rotary again for all you do. Your guidance and leadership allow these young people to establish habits that'll carry them through their life. It's cool to be a part of, so thank you.
Okay, so one of the first projects that we did was the school supply drive for hybrid students at Daniel Wright Elementary School. This tends to be one of the more underprivileged schools in the district. So being able to help them out with supplies, and especially with hybrid, kind of some of these kids would go home and they wouldn't necessarily have things to write, have things to color with or whatever. So this really kind of helped them out with also with the safety aspect, because we were raising hand sanitizers, we were raising face masks. So just being able to help them out in a couple of different aspects of supplies, I guess you would call it, was a cool project that we did towards the beginning of the year.
Can you get a little closer to the mic, please? Or speak louder?
Yeah, do you want me to say it again?
Nope, but just.
All right, sure. So our next big project that we did was we promoted the Veteran Story event here at SIDA. So each year, our AP Studies class, led by Mr. Witt himself, creates these really wonderful presentations. And most students are related to a veteran somewhere in their family. If not, they're kind of matched up with a veteran. And through this project, they tell the story of that veteran, their experiences, and all that information, all that stuff. This year, it looked a little bit different. In the past, we'd done posters, but this year we created an online website, kind of still detailing and telling the stories of all of these veterans. And so Interact Club helped to promote this website, and we managed to still tell their stories even in the middle of a pandemic.
Every year we do the Thanksgiving food drive. This helps feed families like in need for Thanksgiving. And this year we provided meals to 30 families, I think. We gave over 35 bags of groceries, and each with like 8 to 10 meals to Saudi families in need.
So the next project that we did was the holiday food drive, which was obviously the food that we just talked about with Dave. And then around the same time, we put together ornaments and stuff like that, toys, clothing, toiletries, and all that stuff for veterans. So again, kind of helping out that community. We created over 325 ornaments, and we collected blankets, jackets, socks, and toiletries for homeless veterans. I think actually we had a donation, what was it, of like 1,000 bars of soap at one point. So we were able to raise a lot of this stuff and hopefully make a dent in some of the issues in our community. Yeah, so one of the more recent projects that we did was create Valentine's Day cards. We were able to create over 100 of these. They're all individual, they're all unique, and we all made them obviously handmade. And they have a lot of messages to kind of just brighten people's days that receive these over at Sunrise at Dublin. Sure, so our last project, and Ms. Temple talked about this briefly, is our Soho project, which we are actually working on today. So this is a very interesting project. And what happens is we collect different materials. So some of these are like plastic folders, plastic milk jugs, denim jeans, just different materials like this that would kind of typically get thrown away at the end of their lifespan. But we're finding ways to not only reuse those materials, but to be able to turn them into something that's so powerful. And so we're putting together shoe kits. You can see kind of the left-hand image there. We clip these together, and what we do is we send them over to Uganda, where there's a jigger problem. Jiggers are kind of like little animals that burrow into feet. And so a lot of the youth over in Uganda don't have shoes. And so this is a really prevalent problem there. And so this project aims to help mitigate the effect that the jiggers have had. And so Interact Club and both at Scioto and Davis love being able to help. So it was pretty awesome.
So again, just super proud of their efforts and beyond grateful for the support that Rotary provides. Again, just been an interesting year, but the kids are resilient in their ability to see past what others might find to be obstacles throughout all of this has been really cool. So just again, thank you, Cap. Thank you, Claudia, Ash, if you're on the call. Appreciate all of you. Really do. Thank you.
John, right before you leave, I don't know if you saw the chat from Ingrid, but could you email me the slide presentation and we'll put that in part of our recording?
Absolutely.
Great,
Absolutely.
thanks, Bart. And John's got to run back to class and teach and do all the important stuff. So thanks for all your job this year, Pardon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we've got Jerome High School on. Joey, are you going to represent the club here?
I'm with, yes, I'm with Jerome, and then it's Sadishka, Nathra, and Anushka with me. But I think they're presenting this slide. I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I got it from here, Joey.
I
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
So unfortunately, our advisor, Mr. Williams, couldn't be here today, but my name is Sadiksha. I'm one of the co-presidents of Jerome's Interact Club, and actually we do have our own presentation. So I think Anushka, could you please present? Thank you. All right, just to start out the year, we finished up certain projects that we started last March. So one of them was we actually made dolls out of sock puppet or out of socks. And so we stuffed them and we decorated them with a bunch of googly eyes, and it was really, really fun for us and our members. So we ended up donating them to a local charity called Enchanted Dolls. I actually never heard of it, but it's very small and it was very cute. So
One of our first meetings was kind of just introducing our new students. So like whether that be the freshmen or like other drum students who this is their first year with the Interact Club, we kind of just familiarized them with the Interact's mission. We did this via Google Meet because we obviously couldn't meet in person. And we also sent out towards the end of that meeting, we sent out like a Google form link that kind of allowed our members to communicate with officers, whether they have like ideas to share. Like if they have any ideas in terms of like for any big projects, or they just want to like reach out and like give us any way that we can like assist them or like help them in any way.
Another initiative we did this year was called Trick or Treat so kids can eat. So basically, if members went trick or treating, they could ask houses for canned goods, and then we donated these canned goods to the Dublin Food Pantry.
Okay, so this is one of our next meetings. So because of the year it is, and we can't really meet in person or safely in big groups, one of the things that we really utilized was social media. So our next meeting involved us, as a team, meeting together on Google Meet, which is a platform that's similar to Zoom, but it's used by the Google company. And basically, we all separated out into breakout rooms and decided to pick a topic that we all as members felt really passionate about. And so some example ideas were body positivity, practicing safe social distancing or other safe practices during the coronavirus, recycling, and even infographics about the Dublin Food Pantry. And so these are just a couple of the infographics that our members made, and we're so thankful because of their creativity. And once we made these, we were able to publish them on different social media platforms that we had, whether it be Instagram or Remind. And, utilizing these platforms enabled us to not only educate our community, but do it in a safe and fun way. So these are just a couple. But yeah.
And then for our next meeting, this was sometime in, I think, December, I believe, but we partnered with Student Council and we helped thank local businesses that were kind of struggling due to COVID, obviously, and we just wanted to thank them for sticking through it. And so some examples are graders, actually, which is what is presented. And so we gave our members a chance to make a very thoughtful e-card and send it in through Remind. So we could then send it to these local businesses, which I think was a cool initiative.
And one of our projects that's actually ending on the 12th, so next Monday, is our Flocks of Hope project. We actually kind of partnered with, we partnered with Hoffman. They were the original creators for this, but we thought to kind of help them out, we'd promote this within our own club to kind of help with just participation and overall the execution of this this project. So the goal was to just make as many paper cranes as possible, because in Japanese culture, it's like brings good luck if you make 1,000 paper cranes. So we thought we'd assist them. So we used our social media platforms, whether it be Remind or Instagram, to kind of inform our members about the project. And it's ending April 12th. So we'll have all of the paper cranes delivered to Mr. Williams' room then, and then we'll bring them safely to Kaufman.
Okay, and so our next future plan involves Mother's Day. So before, pre-COVID time, what we would usually do is decorate flower pots and then deliver them to the Convalarium, which is a local senior home. But because, of the situation, we decided to take an alternative route. And it's kind of similar to what Scioto is doing, where we'll be making cards to later give to mothers at the Convalarium, just celebrating Mother's Day. And so we haven't considered it yet, but we noticed that Scioto did video messages, which we now think is a great idea that we can definitely implement. So yeah, that's just one of our future ideas. And I think we skipped past this a little bit earlier, but it was basically a slide thanking Rotary. And so I just want to bring attention to this again. I just want to take this time to say thank you to you all so much because of the opportunities that you provide. Just being here today is such an encouragement for all of us to continue practicing volunteerism in our everyday life. So thank you.
Thanks to all of you for efforts this year, as you said, during a troubling year, and congratulations on a great job. And last but not least, obviously, is Kaufman High School. So Karen, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Karen Brothers. I'm at Kaufman, and it was a tough year for coming up with ideas that we were able to do with half of our students being remote and not being able to be around each other. We were so excited just 2 days ago to have our first in-person meeting, a small group, but socially distanced. So I am not going to keep talking because I am going to allow our students to go ahead and share their screens and introduce themselves. They've kind of taken an amazing approach in Google Meets with each other, really just talking about other projects that they can get involved in and an awareness. So I'm really proud of them for what they did. And thanks again, Claudia, Cap, and everyone for helping us out and sponsoring us each year. We wish it would have been a much more fruitful year, but everybody kind of knows how it has been. So I'm going to allow them to get started. Snigdha.
Yeah, hi, I'm Snigdha. I'm co-president of Interact. We're going to present our presentation that we made, and it should work. I'm not sure if it's working right now, but Sharyu is working. Okay, cool.
Hey everyone, I'm Sharyu, one of the co-presidents, and this is our presentation that covers everything we have done this year. So our first two meetings were informational meetings where we talked about current events happening around the world. So for the first meeting, we talked about the user flight. The other officers and I, we worked on this presentation that briefly explains what the event was. As you can see, we have linked several resources and petitions that people could use to take action and learn more. The goal of this was to spread information about certain topics and have a discussion at the end. So for the second meeting, our topic was COVID. Again, we repeated the same process and everyone in the meeting had a discussion at the end.
One of the other activities our school did was having our students make digital posters. Each poster standed for a letter from the acronym ROCKS. R standard for respect, O standard for opportunity to be an upstander, C standard for compassion for differences, K standard for kindness to self and others, S standard for service to school and community. Our students made different illustrations on these posters, and after they submitted these posters to us, we hung them around the school to spread a positive message throughout the students and faculties.
So another organization that we worked with was the Cards for Hospitalized Kids organization, which is an organization in Chicago that delivers handmade cards to hospitals across America. And because we had most of our meetings be Zoom meetings, we thought it'd be a good idea to write digital messages and print them off and send them. Then we were also able to receive a couple of physical cards from our members, and we got a thank you card in return from the organization. And then the main project that we put our focus on this year is the Flocks of Hope project that Jerome talked about earlier. Flocks of Hope project is based on an ancient Japanese legend that if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, you'll get granted one wish. So COVID has impacted everyone greatly, and especially with regards to the students, it's kind of introduced us to a new type of learning, online learning. It's also made it harder for us to meet with friends and family like it has for everyone else. So we thought it'd be a good idea to have, as a community, to fold 1,000 paper cranes to give hope and energy and have our wish be for all students to be happy and healthy. Yeah. Because of COVID, it has been really hard to get people motivated to come to our meetings. So we have increased our social media presence a lot by making posts about our meetings and spreading information about the main projects that we're doing. And one of our officers, Hallie, she actually made a post on the Next Door Neighbor app about the Flocks of Hope project. And we spread awareness about making the paper cranes so we can get more people outside our school involved. We recently had our first in-person meeting on April 6th, which was Tuesday. This main focus of the meeting was the Flocks of Hope. The members decorated boxes to put around the school, so whoever makes paper cranes can just drop it in the boxes that they see around the school. And we will also be having our next in-person meeting around mid-May, which will also be focusing on the Flocks of Hope project. Since this is an ongoing long-term project, we're going to be extending this into the next year. And yeah, that's all we had for today. Yep. And thank you for Rotary for sponsoring us and giving us the time to speak about this.
Great. Well, congratulations on a great year under different conditions. And next year we'll do something more in person, but great job. I just want to thank our Interact committee. Claudia is our district representative in charge of all the Interact clubs in the district. And Sanan is in charge of youth services, and he's been a great support. And then Ash is part of our committee also. So just thanks to all those people. I think it's interesting if we think about that we got up on a Saturday morning and 12 degrees, played golf, but the money we raised is helping these youth touch lives around the world. And I mean, we had fun doing it. We raised money, but these youth took our enthusiasm and our dollars and it really touched lives. And I think that we can touch lives through them around the world is just amazing to me. So I just want to, I think they've all gone back to class already. We interrupted their schedule, but just thank them for all they've done and help us expand our Dublin AM Rotary's touch around the world. Roberta had a question. I would not use the youth pictures, but other than that, we're okay with that.
Does anyone else have a quick question for Cap or for any of the interactors still on?
Well, I just want to thank, I work with Kaufman, but I think all the students you guys did a great job this year. Just truly amazing. And thanks for everything you do. And I can't wait to get to meet with you in person again next year and get back to our joint meetings and hopefully Camp Mary Orton again. Don't forget to do your officer elections this month for next year.
I think one of the neat things that happened this year more than past years is the partnership between the clubs. As you heard, Thada and Davis Middle School did Soul to Hope together. Jerome and Kaufman did the Flocks together, and just bringing these kids together for different projects, I think is a neat opportunity for everybody. So.
Hey, Interactors, it's Caitlin here. I'd like to ask you guys a quick question. I know that this year is a graduating year for some of you guys. If you guys could let either Claudia or Sinan know which one of you are graduating so I could kind of contact you guys to see if you guys would like to help participate in growing the Rotaract Club in Dublin. Something that you guys can do after your Interact graduation. Just let me know if you guys are interested in that. I'd really love to have a very useful perspective for the club.
And just to clarify, Rotaract is the next step after Interact and in between Interact and Rotary. So it's kind of almost many universities have it. So if you're going off to Ohio State, there's a Rotaract club there. Please look into it. But we have a community Rotaract club. So it's not affiliated to any school and anybody's welcome to join.
Okay, great. Well, I wanted to thank everyone from Scioto, Kaufman, Jerome, and Davis Middle School who was here today. You all thanked us for our contributions to your club, but we thank you even more because honestly, the good that you do and the scale that you reach in what you do is inspiring to us. And this is by far one of my favorite presentations of the year, and it's definitely the best investment that we make with our Rotary funds every year is in your clubs. And we thank you for being here today. Next week, April 16th, at our meeting, we will hear from Bill Hall with Premium Partners. I'm not sure what that is, but be here and we'll find out together. And our quote of the week is a summer quote. Rest is not idleness, and to lie sometimes on the grass on a summer day, listening to the murmur of water or watching the clouds float across the sky is hardly a waste of time. So get out and enjoy the nice weather. That came from John. And everyone have a great weekend. See you next week.
Everyone.